It's been 27 years since Star Trek. Deep Space Nine boldly went where no Trek series had gone before, a space station instead of a starship. The cast? Their journeys since leaving the station have been just as fascinating as the show itself. Let's see where they are in 2026. Number 1. We have Avery Brooks as Captain Benjamin Sisko. Avery was 45 years old when Deep Space Nine premiered in 1993, becoming the first black captain to lead a Star Trek series. Sisko wasn't just a Starfleet officer. He was a single father, a reluctant religious figure to the Bajorans, and eventually revealed to be a prophet himself. Avery brought a Shakespearean intensity to the role, having previously been a renowned stage actor and director. What made Sisko unforgettable was his moral complexity. He wasn't the diplomatic Picard or the adventurous Kirk, but a man willing to make dark choices for the greater good. Now 77 years old in 2026, Avery largely stepped away from acting after DS9 ended, choosing instead to focus on music and teaching. He's a talented jazz musician and has been a tenured professor at Rutgers University for decades, teaching theater and African American studies. Avery has been married to Vicki Lenora Brooks since 1976, maintaining a private life away from Hollywood's spotlight. He rarely gives interviews and has turned down most Star Trek reunion opportunities, preferring to let his work speak for itself. His reclusiveness has only added to his mystique among Trekkies. Number 2. We have Terry Farrell as Lieutenant Commander Jadzia Dax. Terry was 30 years old when she joined Deep Space Nine in 1993. Playing the Trill science officer who carried the memories of 8 previous lifetimes. Jadzia was brilliant, beautiful, and could drink Klingons under the table, a fan favorite who brought both brains and humor to the station. Her romance with Worf became one of Trek's most beloved relationships. Terry appeared in 150 episodes across 6 seasons, but here's where things get controversial. Now, 62 years old in 2026, Terry's departure from DS9 remains one of Star Trek's most talked about behind-the-scenes dramas. She wanted to reduce her role in Season 7 to pursue other opportunities, but instead, the producers killed off Jadzia entirely, a decision that shocked and angered many fans. Terry has been candid about feeling undervalued and wanting to do comedy, which led her to join Becker with Ted Danson immediately after leaving DS9. Her personal life included a brief marriage to actor Brian Baker from 2002 to 2015. Terry has since appeared in various TV shows and maintains an active presence at Star Trek conventions, where fans still express their disappointment over how Jadzia's story ended. She's admitted she has some regrets about leaving, but stands by her decision to prioritize her happiness. Number 3. We have Rene Auberjonois as Constable Odo. Rene was 53 years old when Deep Space Nine began in 1993, spending hours in makeup every day to become the shape-shifting security chief who maintained order on the station. Odo's unrequited love for Major Kira and his search for his own people, the Founders, gave Rene some of the show's most emotionally powerful storylines. Yet what made Odo unforgettable was his rigid sense of justice and the poignant loneliness of being the only one of his kind on the station. Rene was already a respected character actor, having won a Tony Award and appeared in MASH and Benson. He brought incredible depth to Odo, making us care deeply about a character we could barely see beneath all that prosthetic makeup. Rene continued working steadily after DS9, doing voice work, theater, and guest appearances on various shows. He was married to Judith Mihaly for 56 years, from 1963 until his death, and they had 2 children together. Rene remained close with his DS9 castmates and was a regular at Star Trek conventions. Tragically, Rene passed away on December 8, 2019, at 79 years old from metastatic lung cancer. His final acting role was in the fan film Star Trek: Renegades, Sus, and he's remembered as one of the most talented and kind-hearted actors in the Star Trek universe. Number 4. We have Nicole de Boer as Lieutenant Ezri Dax. Nicole was 28 years old when she joined Deep Space Nine in 1998 for its 7th and final season, replacing Terry Farrell in one of television's most challenging casting situations. After Jadzia's death, the Dax symbiont was transferred to Ezri Tigan, a young, unprepared counselor who suddenly had to deal with 8 lifetimes of memories. Nicole had the impossible task of making fans accept a new Dax, with only 25 episodes to do it. Some fans embraced her fresh, uncertain take on the character, while others never quite forgave the show for killing Jadzia. Now 55 years old in 2026, Nicole has continued acting in Canadian television and film, in appearing in shows like The Dead Zone and various Hallmark movies. She married cinematographer John Kastner in 2003, though they later divorced. and she married Eric Delaney in 2013. Nicole has been open about the pressure she felt joining an established cast in its final season and has expressed gratitude to her co-stars for supporting her through it. She occasionally appears at Star Trek conventions, but has largely focused on family life and working closer to home in Canada rather than pursuing Hollywood stardom. Number 5, we have Colm Meaney as Chief Miles O'Brien. Colm was 40 years old when Deep Space Nine premiered in 1993, bringing Chief O'Brien from the next generation to become DS9's everyman engineer. O'Brien wasn't a Starfleet officer. He was an enlisted man, was a working-class hero who kept the station running despite constant technical disasters. What made O'Brien beloved was his relatability. He dealt with marriage problems, parenting struggles, and the burden of being just a chief while surrounded by officers. Colm gave O'Brien a warmth and authenticity that made him feel like the most human character in Star Trek. Now, 72 years old in 2026, Colm has become one of Ireland's most successful actors, appearing in major films like Layer Cake, Get Him to the Greek, and Hell on Wheels. He's worked consistently in both American and Irish productions, building an impressive film career beyond Star Trek. Colm married Barbary Dowling in 1977. They had one daughter, but divorced in 1994. He later married Inez Glorian in 2007, though that marriage also ended in divorce in 2015. Colm rarely appears at Star Trek conventions, preferring to focus on his film work, but he's spoken fondly of his time on both TNG and DS9, calling O'Brien one of his favorite roles. Number 6, we have Armin Shimerman as Quark. Armin was 44 years old when Deep Space Nine began in 1993, creating one of Star Trek's most complex and entertaining characters beneath layers of Ferengi prosthetics. Quark was the station's morally flexible bartender and entrepreneur, whose schemes provided both comedy and surprisingly thoughtful commentary on capitalism and morality. What made Quark special was that he wasn't just comic relief. Episodes exploring Ferengi culture through his eyes became some of the series' most memorable and thought-provoking. Armin spent hours in makeup for every episode but brought incredible nuance to a character that could have been one-dimensional. Now 76 years old in 2026, Armin has continued working steadily in television and voice acting, including roles in Stargate SG-1, Boston Legal, and numerous video games. He's been married to actress Kitty Swink since 1981, and they've occasionally worked together in theater. Armin is also an accomplished voice director and has written books about acting. He's remained deeply involved in the Star Trek community, regularly appearing at conventions and speaking passionately about DS9's legacy as Star Trek's darkest and most morally complex series. Armin has also taught acting and frequently mentors young performers. Number 7, we have Alexander Siddig as Dr. Julian Bashir. Alexander was 28 years old when Deep Space Nine premiered in 1993, playing the station's brilliant but initially arrogant chief medical officer. Early on, Bashir was the eager young doctor trying too hard to impress everyone. But the revelation that he was genetically enhanced transformed him into one of the show's most fascinating characters. His friendship with Chief O'Brien became one of Star Trek's greatest bromances, and his unrequited love for Jadzia Dax added romantic tension. Alexander brought charm and vulnerability to Bashir's evolution from an annoying overachiever to a mature, conflicted hero. Now 60 years old in 2026, Alexander, who changed his name from Siddig El-Fadil, has built an impressive international acting career. He appeared in Syriana, Kingdom of Heaven, and most notably as Doran Martell in Game of Thrones. And Alexander married his DS9 co-star, Nana Visitor, in 1997, and they had a son together, but the marriage ended in 2001. He later married Nana Guest, and they remained together until their divorce. Alexander has spoken candidly about how his Middle Eastern heritage affected his career, especially after 9/11, but he's continued working in both American and British productions. He's maintained friendships with his DS9 castmates and occasionally appears at Star Trek events, though he's focused primarily on diverse film and television roles beyond the franchise. Number 8, we have Michael Dorn as Lieutenant Commander Worf. Michael was 43 years old when he joined Deep Space Nine in 1995 for Season 4, bringing the beloved Klingon warrior from the next generation to the station. Worf's arrival injected new energy into DS9, and his romance with Jadzia Dax became one of Star Trek's most passionate love stories. Michael spent more time playing Worf than any other actor has spent playing a single character in Star Trek history, appearing in 282 episodes across TNG, DS9, and films. What made Worf's DS9 arc special was watching him balance his Klingon honor with Starfleet duty while navigating love and loss. Now 73 years old in 2026, Michael has never stopped working, appearing in everything from Ted 2 to the Santa Clauses. He's passionate about flying and holds a private pilot's license, often flying his own aircraft. Michael has never been married, though he had a long-term relationship that ended years ago, and he's spoken about prioritizing his career over settling down. He's remained one of Star Trek's most active ambassadors, constantly campaigning for a Captain Worf series that would give his character the command he deserves. Michael's dedication to the role is legendary. He still attends countless conventions and hasn't ruled out returning to Star Trek if the right project comes along. Number 9, we have Cirroc Lofton as Jake Sisko. Cirroc was just 14 years old when Deep Space Nine premiered in 1993, playing Captain Sisko's son, who grew up on the station over 7 seasons. Watching Jake mature from a teenager dealing with his mother's death to a young man pursuing his dream of becoming a writer gave the show emotional grounding. Jake's friendship with Nog was groundbreaking, showing a human and Ferengi growing up together as equals. Cirroc was one of the few actors who appeared in all 173 episodes, making Jake an integral part of DS9's family dynamic. Now 48 years old in 2026, Cirroc faced challenges transitioning from child actor to adult roles. He continued acting sporadically after DS9, appearing in small roles in films and TV shows, but never achieved the same level of success. Cirroc has been incredibly open about the struggles of being a former child star, including financial difficulties and the challenge of being typecast. He married his wife in 2010, and they have children together. Cirroc has become active in the Star Trek convention circuit, where fans still embrace him warmly. He's also pursued music and has spoken about the profound impact that working with Avery Brooks had on his life, calling him a father figure and mentor. Number 10, we have Andrew Robinson as Garak. Andrew was 51 years old when Deep Space Nine premiered in 1993, creating one of Star Trek's most enigmatic and beloved characters, Garak, the simple tailor, who was actually a former Cardassian spy. Originally intended as a one-off character, Garak became so popular that he appeared in 37 episodes across all 7 seasons. What made Garak unforgettable was the ambiguity. You never quite knew if he was telling the truth, and his complex relationship with Dr. Bashir became one of the show's most fascinating dynamics. Andrew brought layers of meaning to every line, making Garak simultaneously charming, dangerous, and sympathetic. Now 82 years old in 2026, Andrew has had a long and distinguished career beyond Star Trek, including playing the Zodiac Killer in Dirty Harry and appearing in numerous stage productions. He's been married to Irene Robinson since 1970, over 50 years together, and they raised 2 children. Andrew wrote a novel called A Stitch in Time, exploring Garak's backstory, which became beloved by fans. He's also taught acting at the University of Southern California for many years. Andrew regularly appears at Star Trek conventions where fans still quote his famous line, "The truth is usually just an excuse for lack of imagination." He's remained close with Alexander Siddig, and their friendship mirrors the Garak-Bashir bond that fans loved so much. Number 11, we have Aron Eisenberg as Nog. Aron was 24 years old when Deep Space Nine premiered in 1993, though he played the much younger Ferengi teenager Nog. Despite being an adult, Aron's small stature, he was only 5 feet tall due to kidney disease, allowed him to convincingly play Jake Sisko's adolescent best friend. Or Nog's journey from a juvenile delinquent to the first Ferengi in Starfleet became one of DS9's most inspiring storylines. His arc dealing with PTSD after losing his leg in combat was groundbreaking for Star Trek, showing the real cost of war. What made Nog special was that Aron brought genuine vulnerability and determination to a character that could have been just comic relief. Aron appeared in 47 episodes and became a fan favorite. His life was marked by significant health challenges. He was born with only 1 kidney and underwent 2 kidney transplants, one in 1986 and another in 2015. Despite his health struggles, Aron remained incredibly active in the Star Trek community, attending countless conventions and connecting warmly with fans. He was married to Melissa Longo from 1997 until his death, and they had 2 sons together. Tragically, Aron passed away on September 21, 2019, at just 50 years old from heart failure related to his lifelong health issues. His death devastated the Star Trek community, and his castmates have spoken emotionally about losing him far too soon. Number 12, we have Nana Visitor as Major Kira Nerys. Nana was 36 years old when Deep Space Nine premiered in 1993, creating one of Star Trek's most complex and powerful female characters. Kira wasn't Starfleet. She was a former Bajoran resistance fighter who had spent her life fighting the Cardassian occupation, making her angry, traumatized, and deeply spiritual. What made Kira unforgettable was that she wasn't there to be likable. She was prickly, fierce, and unapologetic about her past as a terrorist-turned-freedom fighter. Nana brought raw intensity to the role, on making Kira's journey from bitter soldier to compassionate leader one of the show's most compelling arcs. Her relationship with Odo gave the series its central romance, and watching these two damaged souls find love was beautiful. But here's where things get really interesting. Nana's personal life became intertwined with the show in unexpected ways. Now, 69 years old in 2026, Nana's romance with her co-star Alexander Siddig began during the series and resulted in real-life pregnancy, which the writers cleverly incorporated into the show through a surrogacy storyline. They married in 1997 and had their son Django, but the marriage ended in 2001, just as the series concluded. The divorce was reportedly difficult, and there were rumors of tension on set toward the end. Before Siddig, Nana was married to actor Nick Miscusi from 1989 to 1994. Or after her divorce from Siddig, Nana married Matthew Rimmer in 2003, though that marriage also ended. Despite the personal drama, Nana has continued working steadily in television, appearing in shows like Battlestar Galactica, Wildfire, and most recently in Star Trek, Picard, where she reprised her role as Kira. Number 13, we have Marc Alaimo as Gul Dukat. Marc was 51 years old when Deep Space Nine premiered in 1993, creating Star Trek's most charismatic and terrifying villain. Dukat was the former Cardassian overseer of the station, who became obsessed with proving he wasn't the monster history made him out to be. What made Dukat brilliant was that Marc played him as the hero of his own story, charming, intelligent, and genuinely believing his occupation of Bajor was benevolent. His twisted relationship with Major Kira and his descent into madness in the show's final seasons made him one of television's greatest antagonists. Marc brought such nuance to Dukat that fans found themselves sympathizing with a character who had committed atrocities, which was exactly the point, showing how charismatic leaders can justify evil. Now 82 years old in 2026, Marc has largely retired from acting, though he's appeared in occasional guest roles over the years. He was also previously seen in Star Trek, The Next Generation, and the original series, playing different characters before landing the role of Dukat. Marc has been married 3 times, with his current marriage being the longest. And he occasionally appears at Star Trek conventions where fans still debate whether Dukat was truly evil or a tragic figure corrupted by his need for validation. Marc has said that playing Dukat was the most fulfilling role of his career, and that he loved how the writers kept making the character more complex and unpredictable. His final scene, Dukat possessed by the Paw Wraiths battling Sisko, remains one of DS9's most memorable moments. Number 14, we have Jeffrey Combs as Weyoun and Brunt. Jeffrey was 39 years old when he first appeared on Deep Space Nine in 1994, eventually playing multiple characters but becoming most famous as Weyoun, the Vorta diplomat serving the Dominion. What made Jeffrey's performance extraordinary was that he played 8 different clones of Weyoun across the series, each with subtle personality differences, plus the completely different character of Brunt, a corrupt Ferengi liquidator. Jeffrey's ability to bring humanity and even sympathy to Weyoun, a character serving an evil empire, showcased his incredible range. Weyoun's cat-and-mouse game with Odo and his unsettling politeness while committing atrocities made him unforgettable. Now 70 years old in 2026, Jeffrey has become one of science fiction's most prolific character actors, appearing in more Star Trek episodes than almost any other guest star across multiple series, including Enterprise and Lower Decks. He's also famous for playing Herbert West in Re-Animator and has worked extensively in horror films. Jeffrey married his wife in the early 2000s and keeps his personal life extremely private, rarely discussing it in interviews. He's remained incredibly active in his career, appearing in films, TV shows, and doing extensive voice work. Jeffrey is beloved at Star Trek conventions, where fans celebrate his ability to create completely distinct characters beneath heavy prosthetics. He said that playing Weyoun's various clones was the most challenging and rewarding acting experience of his career, requiring him to make each clone recognizable yet unique.